Ryan, we're nearly there. We've nearly made it to the fucking end of Zanarkand. We've got one last trial ahead of us.
Some summons to pick up after the fact, I'm assuming, after the trial.
Of course.
Based on how things will shake out. And the party's moving along with Jesus Christ anime superstar herself, Yuna. She's been carrying us through emotionally, because we're not allowed, the rest of us aren't really allowed to feel much other emotions. If you're role-playing as Oron, or Lulu, or Riku, or Kamari, or Steve. I mean, I know Steve
has tons of emotion.
Role-play. Yeah. Well, no, Steve doesn't, because he's not real, so Steve's a dream. Dreams don't have emotions. No, dreams are the leftovers of actual emotions you have when you're awake. So those don't count. Dreams are the cold pizza in the fridge. So Steve's if you want to say the cold pizza in the fridge version of emotion, sure. But I mean, that's not. Listen, I love cold pizza, but fresh pizza is better than a cold pizza. No steps around that, in my opinion.
Some hot pizza takes for everybody.
Quite literally hot.
Hot and ready.
Yes. So I was thinking a little bit when I was up there silencing the dog for a second before we got started here about our hot take on the last episode about religion being anime, and then I was starting to think of what is categorically something we think about, like we instantly look at anime and go, this is what makes it anime. And one of the things I always think of is like connectivity between brands of medium. You know what I mean? Like, that was one of those things that started when we were kids, and obviously, like, nowadays it's gone crazy with like the Marvel universe and other universes. But I feel like that universing thing, like, think of all the kids shows you watched. They existed within a universe that they actually established all the times, right? There was usually half the times those kids shows would have spin-offs in the same universe. Like, this wasn't this was a thing that was only specifically targeted towards kids at the time, right? But if you think about a lot of anime, usually it's a manga first, right? Another form of medium. And then let's think about religion. What is notable about religion? It's told through lots of sorts of mediums. Books, preachers, it's almost like all of it's anime. I'm just saying. I see connections. A religious universe built on a connection between messaging from different forms of communication. Right? The only difference, and why I think anime, we use the everything is anime slogan, is because I feel like modern anime was the first to do it with the current forms of communication devices. That is to say, internet, television, music, you know what I mean? Like the pop culture, if you will. They were like, pop culture is the weapon to send our message through, you know, to build this universe. Books, obviously, with graphic novels and manga. But like most anime, like if you think Death Note, it doesn't just have a manga. It has books based on the manga, a graphic novel. You know what I mean? Like, it's huge.
2 movies.
It has all this other stuff. 2 movies, but all those movies and stuff came later.
One's
you know what
good.
I mean? It all was based in writing material first before it became an anime series. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's my point. I feel like at that point, the message was it's anime before it was even anime. But like, I don't know. I just think that older media like religion didn't embrace. Older examples of this type of stuff didn't embrace pop culture in a way that anime did, which is one of the reasons why I think anime probably gets more credit for, because it was one of the things, quote unquote, that was doing it first, right? Like, hey, we're gonna present a movie and a TV show. Like, what the fuck is so weird about that in the same universe? That's not that weird, people. And I feel like America was like, you can't do that. Then you'd be milking it. It's like, what? Get out of here.
I want to see both of those things. Fuck off.
Yeah, exactly. Like all that stuff, it was existing in the 70s and 80s, even in Japan. I feel well before it existed here.
No, this is where I was already up here. I'm a little.
So yeah, I feel like that argument convinces me. Religion is anime, because if anime is just the message of a connected universe that you take way too seriously, right? That isn't real, that you take way too seriously. No offense, religion, you're not real. And then you decide to spread that through all sorts of media. That doesn't mean it can't be inspired by real events. Let's not kid ourselves. There's lots of anime that are inspired by real events. Yeah,
I've always thought it was weird when people get really upset when you're like, I don't think that's a real thing. It's like, well, it brings me comfort. And it's like, that's awesome. Fucking media brings me comfort all the time. Yes, I fucking fall back on that shit all the time.
Between saying factual real and emotional real. I'm not disputing the emotional reality that these universes have on people. That's important and good for them. But there's still a moment where you need to separate them from the factual reality.
I've had these...
And the problem with religion is people intentionally blur the lines between the factual reality and the non-factual in order to get to motivate, right, or manipulate. Religion has a history of doing that, and then to do awful shit with said motivation or manipulation.
That's where the issue comes in.
That's bad. That's where the issue comes in. Whatever absolutely. Bullshit you want to like, believe whatever bullshit you want to believe, as long as you're not forcing it on anyone else.
Yeah. It's equally dickish as when I'm like,
anime
you have to watch the show with
me.
It's like, no, if that's not their thing, fucking who cares?
Sure. Yeah, but then they would be like, you can't compare religion to a show, and it's like, yes,
you
can.
Because
it's realistic. Now we're saying it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Because that show likely had a book that people read 10 years ago that used to be a manga that was based on a story of some guy.
Even if it didn't, it's just a story that somebody wants to tell, right?
True. But like, I feel like if it's on, obviously I still thematically agree with you. I'm just saying if it's on, technically I'm saying if it's on the anime scale, it has to be more than one medium. Because I feel like that the argument is that.
Well, I think that anime as as the actual the technical definition is just the show
animation style.
Yeah.
Yes. Farewell. But that's from our definition of this feature. Anime is a broader word.
Yeah.
No time to waste. Let's go.
Oh, absolutely. To us, it absolutely is. Anime is a concept. It's a way of life,
sometimes it means self-serious bullshit.
Sometimes.
That's kind of also a thing, is most things that I would associate with anime.
I'm so stupid.
Even if they don't necessarily always take themselves seriously, like I'd call Marvel anime, it doesn't always take itself so seriously. But the canon of the universe takes itself seriously, you know what I mean? Like the lore, the connection between events. Like this factual recount of history of how they tell events is what I'm talking about. And that happens with all those things, right? They take it just as serious as religion does in terms of, we're going to tell these events, and these events happen, and they influence other things in this universe. And it's like, that's old shows used to never be about that, right? Like you'd watch an action movie, and Van Damme's actions in the movie don't influence the politics of the world, right? That's never a thing. It's just him killing people, then the movie ends, right? Like that's the movie. Like it's always just a very static journey. Whereas like then they started to become more anime and be like my broad stroke version of the word anime and be like, hey, there's a world. I guess for me it's just being at all aware of a world existing outside of just the characters that you're showing, right? Like, hey, there's a universe here, and the universe itself is essentially fundamentally becoming a character. Even if you don't extend it across multiple different versions of media, right? Like there's obviously series that have just been a series, but like if they take their world seriously enough, that's like there's events and consequences based on that. I think I would then use that broad stroke and say that's fine. That qualifies as anime.
Yeah, I would agree.
It's all anime.
Everything's anime, Ryan.
Yeah. You're anime.
I'm
Paj-anime.
absolutely anime. My whole life is anime.
Yeah, sometimes when I say Paj-anime, I'm just like, it sounds like a spread.
Yeah, my favorite part was that was by far the most fucking slapped together. Remember, because we were trying to come up with a name for this series, and it took us fucking forever. And I was like, I have no idea. And you were like, I don't know. Why don't we just call it Paj-anime or something? I was like, you know what? Yes, we should absolutely call it Paj-anime. And this was even before we had the idea.
But it's a great name.
It's exactly. It's both. And to be fair, this is before we plan on doing more than one of them, right? This was oh yeah, we're just gonna do fucking Paj-anime.
And then we realized we wanted to do multiple of these.
We wanted to do all of the because it's
one of the things I was taking a look at. So I'm not going to spoil what we had planned for some other features.
We've definitely spoiled.
Looking ahead at some of the things not just with this feature, but I mean with other features as well.
Oh sure.
But I'm looking at some of the games we have on the docket, people for what we'll be playing after, since we're getting close to done this, and we're starting to make progress through Bloodborne, and it's just one of those things where I'm looking at all the games we have lined up, and I'm like, man, we play a lot of games by Japanese developers.
So, how shall we do this?
We like Japan.
Don't get me wrong, we do play American games as well. I obviously play Titanfall 2 and some other stuff there, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, here's a question. This is kind of broaching into a subject that I wanted to talk about earlier, and I haven't really had a way to come in, but it also fits in with what we were just talking about. So there's some of the anime snobs, if you will, think that for something to be anime, it has to be made by the Japanese. Do you agree with that, or do you disagree with that?
No. The Star Wars is anime.
Yeah.
Like for me, Star Wars might not have been anime in the 80s. Like when it was just 3 movies, Star Wars wasn't anime.
No, but yeah,
it was at that level.
Once there was an extended universe.
Yeah, the extended universe and the fandom.
Also, real quick, do you recognize this character? Not her. The kid.
Is that supposed to be Yuna as a kid?
Nope. That's not a girl.
I don't
have
much
Oh, that's Seymour. Look at the
Yep.
hair.
Hey, wasn't that...
Seymour had an abusive mom, of course,
No, she wasn't abusive. She was,
forcing him to do something he didn't want to do.
yes, we'll find out more about that later.
But yes, no, I would classify
Yeah.
any of that as like initially
Yeah.
if it's just a film trilogy, like that's the thing. Like Indiana Jones, I don't know, but like that's the thing. Like I feel like as they reboot these things or bring them out of retirement to build universes to them, they are animating them. They are. That is what I see happening. Because before they were just action movies with very little continuity. Like there was continuity between one to the other, but like they didn't treat the continuity like that was the whole thing, right? Like the
Yeah.
moment you start doing that, I feel like that's when you become anime because you're becoming super hyper aware of your fan base and then trying to cater to them in
Yeah.
a way that's just like whether it's fan base or followers. That's why we're saying with religion. Then at that point, whatever it is, it's I don't know. You're on a different level to me than just a piece of media because you're
Yeah.
literally trying to go for like this connected universe or something or a bigger thing.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you.
But I don't think it has to be made by an American person. Yeah, like Clone Wars was like in particular I'd look at because that's like if you want to talk about the technical term too, right? Because that is a cartoon or an animated show.
Yeah.
I would call that anime, 100%.
Yeah.
Like even more so that it's connected to another universe, right? Like
Yeah.
telling the events between two Star Wars movies in a animated style. Okay, 100% anime. Like
Yeah,
how's
but you would
any
agree that
different
there
to,
are
like,
people who would
a
not
Ghost in the
call
Shell?
that anime, right?
Of
Like-
course, but they're being elitist. Like that's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, like, if it might not have negative connotations. If they're like, no, I think that it has to be like this animation style and it has to be like this type of story. Like, if they're not being a
Yeah,
dick
see,
about
I
it,
would.
they're like,
I believe
you
the
can't
term
like
I
don't
come
call
often
this
hear
my
for that is
anime.
Japanime.
Yeah,
That's
okay,
what
sure.
literally would then classify as that's that.
So yeah, sure. No, I like that actually a lot. Because like, yeah, like I think that like while we have done that whole like everything's anime thing, like it's sort of a meme, but like we buy it. But like the reason I'm asking this is because there is a Japanime style show that I started watching actually last night.
Oh yeah, you forgot about that. Like episodes ago, you're going to talk about that. Yes.
Yeah. You ever heard of a show called Ruby? Like RWBY?
No.
No.
I'm
You
not
know who-
up to date on my anime, so
No, you know who Rooster Teeth are, right?
of course.
Yeah. Okay. So they made that.
Okay.
And it's obviously
Not
American
Japan-made,
made.
then.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
so-
but it's very much like it's like
But see, here's the thing. How does so this is kind of we'll get to that in a second. Now that we're
Yeah.
Don't have to do this.
Thank you for your concern.
Fine, I said my piece.
Well, I haven't. Lord Braska, let us go back. I don't want to see you die. You knew this was to happen, my friend. Yes, but I cannot accept it. Oren, I am honored that you care for me so, but I have come to kill grief itself. I will defeat sin and lift the veil of sorrow covering Spira. Please understand, Oren.
This is when Oren was a kid.
yep.
Oren looked like a way cooler kid than you, Steve. But you're not a kid. You're not real.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
have an age. Dreams don't age.
Hey, he's 17.
He doesn't know you.
He also dreams
Can't
do
be
age.
aged.
We saw him as
No,
a
they
child,
don't.
and then he grew.
That's not him. That's not him.
No, that actually was him. I know that you were like, oh, that's definitely not him.
Nope. That's not him.
Okay. Anyways,
That's
you were
a
saying
figment
that.
of him, if it's anything. Like, that's the thing. You can't age if you're not real. He was never born. He's a dream, which means there's no way for time to pass that makes him age. If that's happening, then it's a reflection. It's like the Matrix, right? You're not really eating the steak, even though you're eating the steak, right? You're actually just eating paste. Steve's not really growing. It's just his avatar is changing to reflect the illusion that he's stuck in, which is not. That's not the same thing. Factually, nothing's happening. He's energy in a dream somewhere. He's the energy from those people's brains connected. That's all he is. He is an anime. At that point, Steve has ascended into anime level. Actually, technically, he's always been that. We just didn't know that. Or I didn't. You did.
Yeah, I've known the whole time, Ryan. I've
Yeah.
known since I was like 11. Took me a while to beat this game.
Steve
the
actually
first
is the
time.
lamest character in this game. As much as I've hated Yuna, I'm mad that Steve's that's kind of.
Waka's the lamest character in this game.
Come on,
Ahead.
like when Steve is supposed to be you,
Probably.
he's basically a silent you. He's like a nobody. They linked Steve.
Break. I was expecting, parades and fireworks.
Well, Jack's making a strong
You can ask
character,
for them
strong
after I
case for
defeat sin.
lamest character.
Yeah. Well, he's a dream too. So
I mean, no, not at this point. He's fucking Sin, dude.
well now he is. but he was a dream at that point that we're seeing.
Oh, we actually don't know that for sure. He may not have originally
Yeah, the
been from
boy said that
Zanarkand.
everyone from Zanarkand's a dream.
Yeah, we don't know if he was originally from Zanarkand, Ryan.
Oh shit! Spoilers.
Orin spent some time in Zanarkand. Is Orin a dream? Because he obviously was here first.
So I was going to
Also-
say regarding the Rooster Teeth thing.
Yeah, here, because we're gonna get into a thing, but talk about this while I do this. That's a good
Yeah,
thing.
so I was just going to quickly say, see, it's tough for me to now categorize that because, like, I feel like if you were to say, like, if we're going to go to the technical argument where anime is just Japanese animation
Of the Japanese style,
etc.
we should say.
Of
Like,
the
it's
Japanese style. Or,
Yeah, because it's definitely of the style. Like, that's...
Yes.
Having been somebody who's watched the first season of that now, that's...
The one reason I don't like to use that categorization, especially nowadays, is because not only can anyone use that style, but anyone can influence it or take structures, like not the art style, but take the entire everything else, right? The structure of everything and put it in, like, to a degree. Isn't that what half of American culture is now? It's like, hey, like, come on, well, isn't superhero just that? Like, I haven't seen Avengers Infinity War, but come on, it sounds pretty anime. Like,
It's
it
pretty
sounds
anime,
pretty ridiculous.
And actually,
like
that
those
one's
concepts
even...
would have never sold. Like, that's the thing, right? A lot of those concepts, like not the art style, the concepts of how crazy the type of shit that normally happens in those stories, that would have never sold in an American audience before, right? There's a reason that stuff wasn't over there, is because it was so disconnected. That's why,
Actually,
because we live in an internet age, like, does it have to be in that style, or even from Japan, or even connected to Japan at all? Like, can it just, like, that's the thing. Right now, it's so hard for me to categorize because it's
in
like.
fact, now that I'm thinking
Because
about
there's
it, I
probably
need you
people
to...
in Japan making things themed on American stuff, right? Because they're influenced by that, right? Because everything's just so interconnected now. Trying to, like, label something like it has to be of a specific... Because I feel like that's not saying it's of a specific style to, like, a style that exists. I feel like that's saying of a specific time period. Of it has to look similar to 80s anime that specifically was exclusively made out of Japan. Like, well, too bad. That's not... We're in 2018. Everything's going to look crazy and different now because it's like, you know what I mean? There's just how much content there is, and everything's coming from everywhere, and we live.
And in fact, that one's even
know.
more interesting now that I'm thinking about it. Could you do a quick Google search for me, or like a Wikipedia search of because the creator definitely is like of Asian race, but I don't know.
RWGB.
No. Look up Monty Monty spelled the way you would expect. Spelled O-U-M. Can you tell me what country he was born in? Because if he's in fact, he might be Japanese, I'm not sure, but if he's Japanese and he's the creator, but he worked with a bunch of Americans...
So he's American. He is of... Okay, so this is... Yeah, so he's Asian. He's an Asian American by the looks of it.
But, like, where was he born? Does it mention?
Providence, Rhode Island.
Okay, then okay, so he's Asian, but
this is exactly what I'm talking about, right?
Right.
Like, we do not live in a disconnected world anymore.
Yeah, we've
so this was a
globalized.
person who would have been inspired by, likely, Japanese animation made in the 80s. He was born in 81, right? So this is probably a creator who was really inspired by Japanese animation, but he's technically American, right? Like, that's the thing. It's...
Also, he died in 2015.
Okay, so he provided the custom animations for Red versus Blue. Okay.
He was... Remember when... Did you ever watch any of Red versus Blue?
No,
no.
That's one of the Rooster Teeth stuff that I might have seen like clips, but I don't think I ever.
There was a point where they stopped doing everything in engine and they started making like rad ass animation that everyone was like super into, and that was because of him.
Okay, I remember it just being the Halo engine and them goofing around.
Yeah, it was for like a long time, but then it was like, okay, we're gonna still do stuff in the Halo engine, but okay, here's everyone starting to get like hit with stuff, and it was like, oh shit, this is like really like awesome now. Like the first ones of those I watched blew my mind, and then I started watching Ruby last night, and it's really good. I'm told that the animation gets a little bit worse afterwards because, you know, they're fucking... The creator and lead developer died.
There's something he made called Dead Fantasy, which is it's a video series where he features fantastical combat sequences between characters from two different established game series. He did Tecmo's Dead or Alive and Ninja Gaiden versus Square Enix's Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah. Also, Ryan, we're playing Tetris.
Hey, welcome to Tetris.
So basically, you have to light up the right things.
You were curious of, where he was born. That's
where he was born, just because that makes it really, like, where, like, those, like, the snobby, like, elitist ones would be like, oh no, he's not, or it's not anime, but like if he'd been actually
they
like,
might
born
say
in Asia,
it is though, because even though he's American, his parents settled from Japan.
Right. That makes that whole
Asian.
argument very interesting, right? Where it's like, well,
right, that changes everything, right? But they're using a culture thing, right? They're trying to say if it's not from Japan, then it's culturally wrong. It's like, well, this dude might have grew up in America, but he has cultural connections probably both to Japan and America.
And like,
right?
I mean, everyone, dude, we have cultural connections to Asia at this point.
Yeah, I know. We all have cultural connections to everything now because it's fucking 2018.
Yeah.
You know how many? Like,
Turns out-
listen, I'm pretty sure 20 years ago, oh, maybe they would have been able to. But oh, how about this? 20 years ago, as many people weren't eating sushi in America or Canada as they are now, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Right. That used to be a delicacy for people who were interested in thinking outside the box, not just a culturally accepted casual food that more and more people just tried and went, oh, okay, hey, let's start not being so in a bubble. You know what I mean? The world's getting bigger.
Yeah.
Well, actually, the world was big the whole time, but their world is getting bigger, I should say. The enlightening, anyway.
Yeah, oh, there we go. That's the piece I was looking for.
Shit, okay, you're not really playing Tetris, I see.
No, it's it's a matching game.
Yeah, I don't know, that's interesting.
But it's Tetris pieces.
I don't know where I completely stand on the technical debate. Like I said, I like to call it Japanime if it's stuff that's exclusively produced out of Japan.
Yeah,
Or
and like
if it's
obviously,
stuff
like when we
that
say
that's
like
made in
everything is
America,
anime.
I don't know how I then class like that's why I don't like getting into these things. That's why I joke about everything being anime, because ultimately at the end of the day, it's the same intricate bullshit, right? That's why I like to just say that, because it's just like it's kind of what you're dealing with. Trying to be elitist about what's different between your intricate bullshit and someone else's intricate bullshit, regardless of where it's produced, what the subject matter. Like, it's even the same as sports, right? Sports is the same thing. There's a lot of intricate bullshit that if you don't follow hockey, I could be like, man, the left winger is a specific position for a reason. That's just bullshit to people who don't know the sport, right? It's just layers. At the end of the day, we all enjoy different looking layered cake. That's all that's happening.
Yeah.
Unless you're like some people who don't like cake at all, especially ice cream cake. They prefer ice cream sandwiches, but I think those people
are fucking monsters.
Traitors. Listen, an ice cream sandwich is okay in a pinch. You know, if you don't got nothing else, you grab one, like, this is fine. But like bargain bin ice cream sandwiches suck.
Yeah,
like, they're
I love ice
just
cream sandwiches, but yeah, they're...
Like yes. I'll eat them, but like if I'm sitting, okay, if you're sitting there and you have a bargain bin ice cream sandwich, like, you know, like the $5 box, just plain vanilla, you know, with the 2 chocolate fucking, you know what I'm talking about, the definition of the generic ice cream sandwich, which everyone's had. It's okay. It's like it's fine. It's ice cream. But if you have that or a Dairy Queen ice cream cake sitting there, what the fuck choice are you choosing to eat? You're choosing the ice cream cake.
I'm gonna DQ something different.
Nope. I'll be back.
Okay. I'll just do this real briefly. It sounds like Ryan's roommate is home, in which case... What the fuck part of this am I missing? Is it another blue piece? Shit. I'm only one off. I really don't want to miss it. God damn it. It's one of these. It's definitely one of these. Is it? I'm gonna fuck this whole thing up. Oh, it's here. No, it's not that one. Holy shit, it's this one. Or is it not that one? Fuck me. Okay. Well, since we're doing a lot of trial and error... Oh, it has to be, like, in the right direction. I see. I can't do, like, this and call that the same thing. Nope. Okay, that makes sense. I guess that makes sense. Just keep on... keeping on. Oh, it's fucking over here, isn't it? Yeah, that's the one that I was looking for. Yeah. This puzzle's fine, but it's like kind of annoying because trying to like... Just when you fuck up, it's like, okay, I know now I have to go back and get those things again. Turns into a bit of a pain in the ass. And you're like, okay, I get it. I understand the puzzle. Yeah, so I'll explain this to Ryan when he gets back. But basically, there's like 6 statues in that other room, and there's 6 things over here. And we're trying to activate them all. Each of those will give us a different pattern, of which these block things will have to get. And, yeah, I'll walk back into this room, and then we'll do a quick pause while I wait for Ryan to come back. And we're back. Sorry, everybody. Ryan had to step away for a second. And all that you missed, Ryan, was that I finished one of the puzzles. Basically, we have to do... we push in these altars. Yeah, well, you have to do all the pieces, and there's 6 of them. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, there's not actually a full 6 of them. There's things that...
There's 5.
Well, no, we did one already. I finished one while you were gone.
Yes.
Because I was, like, halfway through it, and, like, I didn't want to forget where the pieces were. Because, you know, big waste of everyone's time. I didn't step on that on purpose. Oh, I needed it, though, so that's cool. So yeah, this is basically just busy work. What the fuck were we talking about? Anime?
I mean, what else?
Yeah.
We were talking about everything, technically.
No! Fuck! I thought that was gonna be... Damn it.
What's your favorite anime?
My
like
favorite
actual,
anime?
So what's your favorite Japanime?
Japan. Oh.
So that means we're gonna say produced out of Japan. Has to be not by anyone. It has to be out of Japan.
Yeah.
So basically, I just time perioded you. Something produced before 2000.
Yeah.
Basically.
I don't know if this was produced before 2000, but Death Note?
The anime? I think that was. Let's look it up. We'll know.
I mean, that still counts. I think either way, right? Like that.
Anime, yeah, that's made out of Japan, but yes, anime. That's one of the few things. If it wasn't, like, things were still obviously things are still getting made out of Japan that are anime. But,
yeah.
They are in different places, I'd say.
I really like
the
Death Note
adaptation, I believe. Oh no, that was the live action movie the old live action movie that released in 2006. There was 2 of them.
The one that was like, okay.
Yeah, so it was her first a manga series, by the way. That's what Death Note was, like a lot of them.
Yeah.
And you know what? The manga released in 2003 to 2006 was its original run. It had 12 volumes.
Okay.
The novelization of said manga was released on August 1st. So do manga have all images? Are they like graphic novels? Usually?
They're like comics.
Or are they like... Okay, so they're comics, yes. So they're like graphic novels. And then the novel would not be. That would be just words.
Words.
And then the anime happened between October 3rd, 2006 to 2007. Yeah, you see all this stuff released at like the same time, right? That's a thing. Like,
yeah.
It took American culture forever to be like, oh, I'm going to reference you remember the Hunger Games? How big that was? Like, oh my God, they're referencing a movie. I feel like that's no longer as big of a deal, but like, there's a period there where we're making things based on other culture was like, whoa, that's a thing. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, of course it is.
In this case, it almost feels like the manga was specifically made to also be an anime, right? Because it all released so close together.
Yeah, that sounds like what probably happened.
The original run of the manga was in August 4th, 2003, and the anime was in 2006, so 3 years later. But the anime ran for a year, till June 2007, at 37 episodes, obviously. You'd say that's your favorite? Oh, there's a bunch of games.
This one? Yeah. Yeah, that's probably my favorite.
Then there was an anime television film called Death Note Relight Visions of a God. See? That's when you know you've entered anime. Subtitles on names. Because it's so fucking nuanced, because there's 7 different versions to watch it. You know, like Kingdom Hearts 2.5, Rechained by Birth, Memories, or something. Whatever it is.
Birth by Sleep?
No, that's 1. There's 2.5 dash Rechain of Memories or something. That's like a thing. Like, trust me.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Dream Drop Distance is another one, right?
Then there's... I could start listing all this. Here we go. Death Note Relight Visions of a God is an anime television film. Then there was another novel. It released in 2007 called Death Note L Change the World. Then there was a game released in 2008 called L The Prologue to Death Note Spiraling Trap. Then there was another anime television film released in 2008 called Death Note Relight 2 L's Successor. Then there was several live-action adaptations of it, including the 2007 film, which I believe you saw, which was a live-action.
I never saw the film.
Oh, I thought you saw one in 2017 that was like on Netflix.
No, I was making. I watched the show.
In the old school. No, I thought previously though you've talked to me about watching. Oh, sorry.
I was making jokes about the fucking the new movie.
No, not in this episode. Not in this episode.
No, I mean I've made jokes about watching the new movie because I haven't, but I knew that was going to be garbage immediately.
I thought I had talked to someone who'd watched that, and I could have, and it could be Shane or someone else. Anyway.
Yeah.
And said it was bad. Whoever I talked to said it was bad. Anyway, that's all the Death Note stuff. There's lots of it. It has a legacy. Oh, it's had bans in school. Well, I guess that makes sense, because it was a book that could kill people, so people were probably like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make a Death Note.
Oh, that's happened before, right? People have definitely written Death Notes.
Yeah, lots of people. That's a whole thing. There's people writing Death Notes in them in schools in the States, schools in Australia, schools in, different places. Copycat crimes.
Yep.
I liked Death Note, though. It was good.
Yeah.
That was that era of anime, I feel like 2006-ish to 2010. I was that's when I was still watching a decent chunk of anime. The problem is, if you want to keep up with anime, you need basically a free lifetime to watch it all.
Yeah.
Because it's so
which we don't have.
Yeah.
We're making
We
content.
prefer
dude.
to. That's why we prefer to digest our anime in other ways, like these long Final Fantasy games.
Yeah.
I'll probably watch more anime at some point in my life. I'm sure. I'm not done anime.
Yeah, probably not.
I'm not like against it. It's just I'm gonna be a little more choosy. I've heard a lot of good stuff that I should watch though. People tell me there's a lot of video game themed anime now. Like that's a big thing. Like you're inside of a simulation, or they play a game and that's like they're a game player.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. That's big.
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh, but with video games. That seems to be the thing.
Yeah. Yes, you are correct. Also, this is a pretty good place to call this episode.
Yu-Gi-Oh, but with video games.
No, I mean, to end the episode, not name it.
No, that's the name though. I just named it.
Yeah.
I just chair play. That's what the name is. Because we're oh man. Speaking of anime, the screen color changed and now we're like the whole thing's white and now we're gonna
Glitchy
enter like
on the screen.
Okay, this looks like Jigsaw's room actually. You've been trapped here and we don't. That's actually you're a dream trapped in. We're dream Jigsaw. That little kid is gonna come up to you and be like, "I want to play a game, Steve." Then we're fucked.
Yep.
Actually, we're not fucked. Okay, so the tip to get through this, if that's the case, just do whatever he wants you to do. It might hurt, but you won't die. That's it. That's actually all you ever have to do.
Indeed.
Because he just wants you to sacrifice. That's the whole bit. So if you actually had a little bit of humility, you could get out of all of his games. It's not hard. Well, humility and like sometimes you're killing someone else or something.
Cutting
That's
off your
not
foot.
humility. Well, yeah, that's humility. You don't need your foot. That
You
dude
do for
didn't need to cut
Guardian.
off his foot either, by the way. That's
No,
not
I
actually
know.
how that story went. He had to kill the other guy, which he should have done.
Yeah.
That other guy was illegally following him. I would have shot that guy. Anyway.
Yep. Yeah. Well, we will see
Actually,
you
they both
guys.
could have got out if that other guy would have just used the key in the bathtub. But he wasn't aware.
Yeah. That is what happened. And see you guys next time.
You're going to be stuck in a bathtub next time on Paj-anime.